Hey, hey, guys. Uh, Shout out to y'all. Hey, hey, Portier, long time no see. How are you? What's up, Centel? Are you working? Hopefully, I can entertain you while you're driving and working and doing your thing. So I am going to talk about the latest updates in the murder of Haitian President Jovenel Moise. That's what I'm here to talk about today. But I know there's people out here that have other things in mind. What's up, OG? Good to see you. A lot. I know some of y'all are lurking in the bushes. You're lurking. You would never admit that you're even over here watching me. They make it like it's a really crazy taboo, right? To watch me because I'm just such this horrible person, right? Um, and I'm just watching. And let me just say, for the ones that are absolutely here or are clicking on this video because they want to hear my point of view. I mean, I'm never shy about my point of view on things. I will say um, that shout out to my real ass supporters. I mean, what else can a bitch say? Appreciate y'all. There's always going to be people out there hating and doing, I just expect it now. So, hey, it is what it is. I hope you guys had a fantastic time and got your entire entertainment experience over there on the Roosters channel. Oh my goodness. Like, I know that's on like the forefront of some people's mind and what they want to talk about and shit. But I'll be honest with you, I really don't have any words. Like, I don't really know what to say to that mess that I see. It's a mess, an absolute mess, garbage. Shout out to those of you guys that have, just dropped a message just to tell me that, hey, it's all good. Like, just watch them, watch how they move, watch how they move. So I mean, I don't know what to make of it. They make it so taboo and such a big issue. So just know if you ever interview with me or if I'm ever on your channel, that there's going to be a wave of shit that's going to come at you. I guess I don't know what to take from that. It tells me that I'm living rent free in people's brains. And I'm also, I'll be honest too, I will say that I'm always watching my back also. So moving on to more important things because clout chasing isn't one of them. Because that's exactly, another thing I see is I see a lot of clout chasing going on. People, they want to run around YouTube and drop my name, leak you, and try to put me in all their shit. I'm not interested. I don't care. Period. Now, let's talk about this suspect that the Haitian police have under arrest for literally being responsible behind this entire murder plot against Jovenel Moise. Now, we knew it had to be an incredible, amount of strength or effort was put in to that entire assassination that happened. They had drones flying above President Jovenel Moise's house the night that, or I should say the early morning, because it was about 1 o'clock in the morning when multiple men, almost this little small task force, showed up at the Haitian president, his private residence, and assassinated him. They shot him 12 times. He was the target of their operation. Now, a man was arrested in Port-au-Prince. His name is Christian Sanon. He came into the country of Haiti on a private jet back in June. They believe that Sanon was alleged to have been in touch with a Florida-based Venezuelan security firm and that he recruited 26 Colombian mercenaries and 2 Haitian Americans. Their first assignment was to provide security for Sanon, but this mission, apparently, of this operation of assassinating Haitian President Jovenel Moise, was alleged to have evolved over time. So these 28 people that are suspected in, his killing, 20 of the suspects have been detained. 2 of them are American nationals. 3 suspects have been killed. This is all what the official word is. Now, we've been talking on this channel the last, ever since this happened. At one point, we were hearing numbers like there was 8, 10 people that were killed in Haiti right when, after this happened. We've seen multiple videos going around that showed just normal citizens that were doing like citizen arrests on some of these men in Haiti. Pretty much, if you looked at all with any sort of Hispanic anything, they were getting hemmed up over there. And that's when, that warning came out from, parts of the Haitian government that there are Cubans that are living and working in Haiti, and to just to be aware of that, right? And to not accidentally blame one of those people for what these group of people did in regards to their plot to kill the president. Now, this man here, Claude Joseph, he's actually been under a lot of suspicion lately. I've seen a lot of suspicion thrown his way. People are very, very weary of this guy. They feel like he's trying to do anything to continue to stay in office. He is the current interim prime minister. He had just gotten, well, actually, he just lost this job just a few days before this assassination happened. Like, that was the hot topic. But then all of a sudden, the president is then assassinated, and Claude Joseph is still standing. He's appears to be the last man standing in that situation. Now, they did a raid on Sanon's house, and apparently they discovered that Sanon, this man, this guy from that flew in to Haiti on this private jet back in June. They say one of the assassins called him first as soon as the assassination happened. They received information on the entire operation from the detained Colombians. Now, you get 28 people wrapped up in a murder case, of a president of a whole nother country. You can guarantee one of them are going to talk. Are you kidding me? It is the story, it's a story of the year, for sure, for Haiti and for other parts of that, of the world. It's going to be it is a big story. He was still a acting leader, a elected acting leader, regardless of, the turmoil and the back and forth that they have in their local politics. Now, when they raided his house, Sanon's house, they found 20 boxes of 12 and 9mm caliber ammunition, rifle, pistol holders, right? To me, I don't even think anything when I see that anymore. Like, everybody has a gun, so, but they had 24 unused shooting targets that were labeled DEA, 2 vehicles, and 4 Dominican Republic license plates. They also found correspondence with different sectors in the country. Apparently, Sanon was born in Marigot, Haiti, and has retained legal representation to address potential charges. and has not publicly commented on the allegations. Wow. Authorities have described the group of suspects as professional killers, consisting of members of the Colombian military, which makes sense because when this happened, these suspects were talking in English and Spanish. That was one of the first things that was noted when this happened. It's been a very interesting response, I think. Um, Colombia is involved. The country of Colombia has also made new or had news conferences, and they spoke on this. So they're assisting apparently with the investigation, and they're sending a special police unit. I think it's already arrived, honestly. They were, talking about how America sent groups of FBI agents. Of course we have. Of course we can't keep our nose in our own business. Of course. So yeah, Colombia is also sending special officers, and they want to be informed on the whole situation as well. I wonder if there's a high-ranking officer. There's definitely got to be something that got their interest. Keep your eye on that. Don't forget that. Don't forget about, Colombia's role and how, what they do from here on out in regards to this investigation. Now, Martine Moy is still in intensive care, from what I understand, in a Miami hospital. I don't know what her other than that, what her status is. Her status has been extremely guarded, extremely guarded. There was information flowing at first when this happened, and I can even say this: when this first happened, it was actually reported that she had been killed in this assassination as well. But she is actually still alive and in intensive care in a hospital in Miami. So just be aware of that. Now, Haiti's political situation is in turmoil. It is in turmoil. You are witnessing a huge power vacuum in Haiti with no legal roadmap to succession. Parliament is currently defunct, and two men are simultaneously claiming to be the country's rightful prime minister. Parliament became dysfunctional in January of 2020 when the mandates of two-thirds of the 30-member Senate chamber expired, leaving just 10 senators in office. The Supreme Court president would normally be next in line to take over on an interim basis, but he recently died of COVID-19. They declared a state of siege in Haiti. It's still considered their level of security is still at state of siege. Keep your eyes on this story. Speaking of crazy stories, did you guys see the whole King Von and Jakira? You can't call it a ruling. It's more of like an announcement that was made by the Chicago Police Department. You guys remember Jakira Barnes? Um, Jakira Barnes was a what they have labeled a female assassin, a gang assassin. She and King Von, her and King Von knew each other. Now, King Von, rapper King Von, was killed last year in Atlanta. You guys remember that footage that was released with King Von? He was shot in an incident when him and another rapper, Quando Rondo, had a run in with each other at an Atlanta hookah bar. hookah bar. I've never, I don't even know. I've never been in a hookah bar, so I'm not exactly sure. They say they're fun to hang out in. I don't know. But look at that. Chicago Sun-Times said, not today. You're going to have to pay for a subscription. I don't want to pay for a subscription. So rapper King Von, who was killed outside of that hookah bar, the Chicago police are literally saying that he was responsible for the shooting of Jakira Barnes. There's these channels that have covered the Chicago gang violence that happens up there daily. There are some extremely interesting channels. You got Academics channel, his old school, what is it, Chirac Savages, or I can't remember the name of the channel, but DJ Ack has a very well-known channel that talks about the gang violence in Chicago. That's where the term Chirac Savages was coined. But there's, hold on just one sec, y'all. Yeah, go ahead. All right. Okay, sorry guys. All right. So Jakira Barnes, 17 years old, female gang assassin. They got the whole like street, where the streets start and where the streets ends seems to determine the gang movement in Chicago mostly. But there's been a lot of really, really well-known murders that have happened up there in the last year, or to people that were associated to the Chicago area. You had FBG Duck assassinated right down in the middle of the day in downtown Chicago. That murder is still unsolved. So Shakira Barnes was this girl, and her and King Von had like this little back and forth they used to do. And especially on Twitter, like there seemed to be an affinity to the Twitter application. And they used to go back and forth. And the crazy thing is, I have actually been able to kind of watch this happen over the last several years and follow it. So it's just kind of interesting to see the Chicago police come back and literally say that King Von was responsible for Jakira Barnes being murdered in Chicago. She was shot 9 times in Chicago. But Jakira Barnes is also, they have alleged that Jakira Barnes killed more than one person. Like I said, a female gang assassin. So they say King Von was a member of the Black Disciples, and witnesses reported seeing the late rapper hoodied up before allegedly killing Jakira Barnes. An unknown M1 wearing a gray hoodie and blue jeans approached the victims. The unknown offender then produced a handgun and began firing in the direction of the victims, striking all 3. The unknown offender was then observed entering an unknown vehicle, making good his escape. Police state that the investigation revealed that the victim was killed by Davon Bennett, which is King Von's government name. Although King Von was named as the offender, police say there wasn't enough evidence to tie the killing to King Von, causing the rapper to be free of charges. So if the rapper was able to be free of charges, then why are we coming out after he's dead to try to stick a whole murder on him? You know you can never try the man in a court of law. See, it's a little bit different to me with that. It's different. It's like, I'm not saying don't put the murder on him if he did the murder. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying be very wary and be careful that the Chicago police, that they're not trying to like stick a murder on, because they had ample opportunity to try Davon Bennett, King Von, if they felt that he was responsible for her murder. So why didn't they try him for it? Why didn't you take him to trial? So I'm just saying, be wary of that because they're literally coming out, they're hanging this entire murder on him and they're going to shut the door on it. They're going to close it on up. It's always been suspicion. There has all, let me be very clear. There has always been suspicion that King Von killed that girl. Always. So, hey, Dolly, there's always been suspicion of that. So, yeah, I just kind of see that's how they're moving, and it's interesting. Yeah, then OG, you had KTS Dre that was gunned down Saturday, right in front, right while he was being released from the jail in Chicago. Gunned down right in front of the jail. Man, when I tell you, hey, shout out to the UK. Shout out to the UK. Shout out to everybody in every country that's listening. I've got listeners from literally every country on earth that has internet. So, shout out to all my new subs, also all my new subscribers. Definitely been an influx of people subscribing over to the channel. So I'm trying to be mindful and try not to like mix in any sort of like personal beef sector related type shit. So, my apologies if it spilled over yesterday. Um, anyway, I had to throw that little subliminal in there, right? Shout out to all the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the crazy, crazy channel of Leak You. Hey, Janet, how are you? How you feeling? Huh. Just looking at y'all's comments in the chat. Had to. Like, just as I was like reading over the story, it's like, okay, so somebody managed to pull up a whole hit. They shot this guy 60 plus times. 60 plus. I think it was like 63, 64 times. I read that they found like 59 shell casings at the scene, right in front of the jail. Like, that somebody had to have had the drop on the guy and his release. Like people, they don't ever think that somebody's going to come to a jail. It's like me going down to Lou Sterrett, going down to Lulu down there in downtown Dallas, and like right in front of the jail, shooting and killing somebody right in front of where all the police officers, they're at home. That's their home. It's crazy. Unbelievable. It's disheartening. Very disheartening. 2 vehicles, several hitters. When I tell you, I've seen some intricate ass murder plots out of Chicago. They like that sort of reminds me of the whole FBG Duck assassination. That's what you could have called that. That was an assassination too. And they took FBG Duck out and they still ain't solved it. Still, they don't have any suspects. They literally have said nothing, not a single solitary word. It's like FBG Duck wasn't nearby like Tupac or nothing like that, but he did what he did, and that was his form of music. Now, I don't listen to his music or anything like that. The only song I know of a couple songs, right? Slide and all that. One of his songs, what is it? Bitches, dead bitches, right? Dead bitches. So disrespectful. Oh, ooh, that's what they say. Touched in your spirit. Yeah, that song is very disrespectful. FBG Duck was dissing every dead op. Like, there are, again, as I was mentioning earlier, there are some channels out here that keep track of these beefs that happen between these gangs or whatnot. They actually keep track of it because they're following on the internet, you know. They're following them. They're posting this stuff. They're not shy about posting this stuff because that's how they're getting their clout. This is all about clout at the end of the day. People want clout. It's like a drug. It's like a drug. So yeah, I'm pretty much at the end of giving out my important substance in this video. So I appreciate y'all for coming through. Much love. Again, shout out to all the new subscribers and shit. I really appreciate that. There's been a huge influx of people subscribing over here on the channel. And I can only say thank you. I'm trying to keep it professional. So if you guys ever see a video with the title Screwed and Chopped in it, then you know that I'm on my fuck shit. This was the deal I made with you guys a long time ago, my subscribers. And to those that follow me for the actual commentary that I give on different things. And, you know, oh, I want to mention this before I go. Stop Lying TV. I have no problem, no issue with what you do. I actually support your channel. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if anybody grabs any clips off my videos. Really, I don't. I don't really mind it so much. But what I will say is I don't want to be doxxed. Like, even though I showed that, I also privated that video. So I would appreciate it if you would take that video down in which my name was being doxxed over in Rotten Twatkin's chat over there yesterday, if you don't mind. Feel free to clip that part off and leave the rest of it up. I don't care. I'm just saying, don't redox me like that, please. And I don't have no issue with Stop Lying TV. Shout out to you. Go over there, check their channel out. I believe it's Stop Lying TV 2, I think, right? Stop Lying TV 2. I was trying to find the damn channel, but I couldn't find it yesterday. You have a nice evening also, Tracy, okay? Shout out to you, babe. Yeah, I've already given out the good substance, so y'all feel free to take that. Y'all go find somebody else who's live and go chop it up with them because I'm now on to. I just wanted to kind of like these are just announcements that I needed to make. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out. Um, Again, I don't even care if they leave up the part about, you know, the doxing that was happening. Just do not like dox me like that. I repeated my name and all that stuff, but that was also on my channel and that video isn't even up anymore. So that was meant for that one-time consumption to you guys. Sometimes I actually will do lives and I will come up and I'll chop it up, but I don't leave the videos up sometimes. And so, yeah, that's going to just it's redoxed me like 1,000 times already. So if you don't mind taking that part out, I would really appreciate it. Um, they're probably like almost like a wrench. The wrench. You all remember the wrench? I seen the wrenchette running around here. Y'all remember the wrench? People used to get really pissed off at the wrench. The wrench used to have a lot of people in their feelings and shit. It's kind of funny. You think about it, because I remember that people wanted to know the identity of the wrench so bad that they all converged on what was it, Linus and Judah's channel one night. She had this live about the wrench, and the wrench came on with a fake voice, of course. Everybody was trying to figure out, was it a man? Was it a woman? That was funny. I don't know if any of y'all remember that live video. I will, Tracy, thanks. But Yeah, that was a long time ago, though. That was hilarious. So yeah, 64 times, two vehicles, several hitters. It's crazy. That's crazy. So I guess my question, I think some people were asking this too, is do you think that it could be an inside job with the police? Anybody in the police department that would have had possibly some sort of hand in this this murder that happened and right in front of the police station. One of the things that people can freely do is call down to the police station and get like a release date and all that sort of a thing. And I don't know how the release date stuff works up there as far as probation and any sort of other cases you may have. But somebody knew he was walking out of the jail that day. So people started looking at the people that went up with him. Who knows these people? Whoever went to pick him up is what I mean. It's crazy. Two vehicles, several hitters. They did not like this guy. Somebody is throwing a lot of cash around. Somebody's throwing some serious money because to have several hitters in two vehicles do some crazy stuff like that and shoot somebody right in front of a police station, they had to have been paid well, I would think. Watch who buys new jewelry over the next couple of days. Watch who shows up on the internet trying to show off, brand new jewelry and necklaces and rings and all that type of shit. I would love to ask a question to the people that like bling so much who just can't even walk outside their home without it. They want to be seen as whatever, whatever, right? The chains, they're so into their chains. I'm curious if any of them ever just loses a piece of that jewelry. Does anyone ever just like lose? Like, has 6ix9ine ever lost a chain? Has Boosie ever lost a chain? How much was that chain worth or any piece of jewelry worth? If they ever just lost something random like that, that's my problem. I would probably lose a piece of that shit. Can't keep up with it all. So yeah, like who it wouldn't have been a secret about his release date necessarily or what day he was going to be released. But how the heck did they just manage to pull up as he was walking out of the jail and then manage to get the drop on him? This is the guy right here. And what's crazy is I've seen this guy before. That's what's crazy is when you see these people, you see them dying and shit like that. This shit is happening to these people. And these are people that you've watched on Instagram or you've came across them some sort of way. And I can definitely say I did research on the whole, Chicago, gangland, all that type of stuff. That's definitely something I've had just an interest in. There's people that talk about this stuff daily. There's a lot of drama tied up in all that type stuff. It's got created its own little column, its own little sector, whatever you want to call it. There's a whole little sector dedicated to Chicago gangland. Hold on, y'all. So last weekend alone,
coming
Chicago
together to try to
had
stop.
there was over 31 people shot. Hold on,
One
listen
man
to
dead,
this.
2 others wounded, as you mentioned. Near
Play.
into this is more violence leaves one man dead, two others wounded, as you mentioned, near the Cook County Criminal Courts building over on the near southwest side, so to speak. So far, 31 people have been shot, 7 people killed this weekend as local leaders and communities are working together and coming together to try to stop the violence. Now, what happened last night around 9 o'clock on the city's southwest side in the Armour Square neighborhood near the Cook County Criminal Courts building. Now, witnesses tell investigators a 31-year-old man and a 60-year-old woman were targeted by 2 unknown gunmen who opened fire on them as they walked in the 2700 block of West 27th Street. Now, the man was killed after being struck in the face and chest. The woman suffered a gunshot wound to her knee. Now, this Saturday night violence, the shooting, is just the kind of violence that the local leaders and youth activists who came together are hoping to try to prevent. The goal of the Chi-Town Gun Violence Prevention Summit was to come up with creative ways to stop the violence. United States Congresswoman Robin Kelly participated in this virtual event and not only spoke about just the physical impact of gun violence, but also some of the mental health problems that can result.
And, you know, I was offered a job a couple years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago, something in that range in Chicago. A very lucrative job. No, thank you. No, thank you. For one, let's just keep it a stack. The weather fucking sucks. Period. The weather sucks. It's not about even the spring or the summer or none of that. I don't know what that's like because that's not what I think of when I think about Chicago. I just immediately see snow and ice. That's just no, thank you. I am not interested at all in living anywhere or having any sort of presence in motherfucking Chicago. Fuck, why do I need to pick up all over and learn a whole city? No, thank you. My home will always be in Texas. Shout out to all my Texans. Texas Trill. Always. And I've lived in other places too. I've lived in other places far, far away from here in my life. But for some reason, I'm just emotionally tied. And even specifically emotionally tied to this area. It's just what it is. Anyway, I'm gonna get up off of here, but I'll be back on later and we'll chop it up. I don't think it's that bad either, Big Black. I really don't. The coldness. I think about how cold. I could probably deal with some snow once in a while, but it's the 5 months or however long the winter is, of just absolute, like the ice that you see up there that they even have to drive on. We don't see that down here. Not like that. When that winter storm came through, man, that was the worst I've ever seen. We paralyzed Texans. It's almost like it paralyzes us. I kid you not. We have like a snow event like that or an ice event. We can't handle that. That's just not. Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I wouldn't even want to like drive through that type of weather on a daily basis because I'd be scared to death I'd slide off the damn road or some shit. So no, no thanks. It'll be cold here, but there's no moisture on the ground. I can deal with that. Hell, even down here in Texas, you could literally probably walk around all winter in a damn pullover sweater. You don't even need a coat, really. But anyway, y'all have a good one. Until next time.